Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. And if you like this commentary, please share it with people you think will find it informative. And we got to talk a little politics again today. And this is on U.S. Florida Republican Representative Matt Gaetz, who's been all over the news the last several years. Just to give you a little backstory, he's 41 years old from Hollywood, Florida. He is a Republican. He has a BS from Florida State University and a law degree from William and Mary. And he recently got married to Ginger Lucky in 2021. Well, he just did a Zoom call the other day talking about how the Republicans were going to garner more minority votes. And he had an interesting commentary. Also, I need to mention that he's been in the House of Representatives since 2017 as a Republican in Florida. So he did the Zoom call, and as you know, he's Republican. He's been all over the news for the last few years on several things that I'll bring up in a minute. One of them was, and he's had legal trouble, even being a lawyer. As I've said to many of you all in many of my other videos, a lot of our politicians have law degrees, and knowing your state and local city officials and representatives and how they are legislating the laws that govern you in your city and state are more important than the federal and who's going to be the president and vice president. Because those interactions with your city and state laws affect you each and every day. So you need to know who your mayor is, who your city council, who's your city treasurer, who is on the state Supreme Court, who's your U.S. congressman that's representing you, your U.S. senator. Before you get to the president and the vice president, there's a stepping stone on what your knowledge base should be for who your political leaders are. Because he's a classic example who should not be representing you. 2008, he was arrested for a DUI in Florida. He's been alleged to have engaged in sexual encounters with underage prostitutes and orgies. He's been accused of sex trafficking a minor. He's been alleged to be an avid cocaine user. And he even has been alleged in the past to have shown nude pictures of women right on the House floor to his colleagues. So he has had a cascade of this dark cloud that's been over him, and his behavior seems to exude a pestilent narcissism and arrogance that he thinks he's above the law, even having a law degree and working in politics. But during this Zoom interview, he was telling the interviewer that he says that if the Karens leave the Republican Party, then they'll get more Jamals and Julios. Yes, he said if the Karens leave, Karens, he's referring to white women, they will go and garner more Jamals, black men, and Julios. How stereotypical and demeaning is that? And he is a voice for the Republican Party. It does not make any sense, and it casts a light of an underlining racism and stereotype that I don't think the Republican Party should want to have him as a voice box. I guess this is how the elite and entitled white males speak at the country club. And he felt comfortable to do this on a Zoom call that was going to get national coverage. This guy lives in this utopian white male patriarchal bubble that doesn't make any sense, and how he's been a U.S. House of Representative congressman in Florida and representing the people. And in Florida, there's a multitude of multicultural, diverse, eclectic group of individuals, Cubans, Jamaicans, Puerto Ricans, white, black, in Florida, and they're aligning this guy and they keep voting him in office. This does not sound like inclusion of diversity for the Republican Party at all. And I'm not Democrat or Republican, I'm independent, but I try to give my voice to things that are just right in your face and apparent that he has a level of white male patriarchal egregiousness that is crazy. To refer to black men as Jamal, Hispanic men as Julio, and white women as Karen is completely dismissive. I guess he's not familiar with DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion that's being all talked about all throughout the country. And Donald Trump is going to have, they're going to have to muzzle him and keep him quiet, because he is not, the Republicans are not going to garner much of a black vote if he's running around calling black men Jamal and Hispanic men Julio and white women Karen. He sounds a little bit like a goofball. And I just told you his historical past of cocaine, sex trafficking of minors, DUIs, and luckily he found somebody to marry him. Some young lady named Ginger Lucky married him in 2021. So I guess there's somebody for everybody. But take a look at this Zoom video with Gaetz, and he's been all over the news for the last 4 or 5 years. I don't know what's happening down there in Florida. Florida seems like it operates under his own montage, and it can get a little chaotic down there. But I don't really care for Gaetz. Him referring to black men as Jamal, Hispanic men as Julio, and white women as Karen does not sound like diversity and inclusion, and it does not put a good lens on the Republican Party to have this an all-inclusive party. Most blacks have historically in the last 50, 60 years voted Democrat. If the Republicans are going to try to get more black votes, they need to muzzle Gaetz. It does not make an ounce of sense, and we as citizens, we need to vet these politicians, these people that are running for office and are representing you in your city, in your town, in your state. Make sure you know more about them than even the president or the vice president. The way they are legislating your laws has an effect on you each and every day. And I don't think that Gaetz should be even in the House of Representatives, let alone speaking for any party about who they should go after and market to try to come to the Republican Party. He's the wrong person for it. He's had one blunder after another. The system has coddled him. When you talk about white male privilege, he exudes it to a T. And evidently he was smart enough to get a law degree, and I'm assuming he has a law license. He should know better and have done better. I don't know how he was raised, but it doesn't seem like he went to institutions where there were other ethnicities, women, black women, white women, black men, Hispanic people, in a state that's filled with a multicultural, multi-diverse existence down in Florida. It's not, so I don't know what weird utopian world that he's living in, but I don't think he's a great representation for the Republicans. I'm not pro-Republican or Democrat. I'm independent, but I thought this was a good video to put up on Matt and how stupid he sounds and how ignorant he sounds in 2024.